they just don't make TV shows like they used to. And by that, I mean they don't throw in jokes about Grandpa having a World War II PTSD flashback like they used to. But the season 3 episode of Drake and Josh, The Demonator, is from the golden era of television. As a kid who was obsessed with roller coasters, this episode had me in a chokehold back in the day. And during the whole episode, I kept hoping they'd show us more of the so-called legendary Demonator ride, and more of the theme park Mystic Mountain as a whole. And quick fun fact, the fictional Mystic Mountain theme park is also featured in the Zoe 101 season 4 episode, Roller Coaster. But even though I used to be obsessed with the roller coaster plotline as a kid, it's really the B plot of this episode, involving Drake and Josh's great-grandfather Papa Nichols, where things get really wild. And before I get into the nitty-gritty here, real quickly, I do have to point out that this episode came out in 2006, and sadly, the actor who portrayed Papa Nichols, named John Brandon, died in 2014 at the age of 85. And I really didn't want to bum everyone out by bringing this up, but there's a weird internet rumor that someone named Vernon Roberts actually played the role of Papa Nichols instead. And through my research, no such person even fucking exists. Someone made this fake person an entire ass biography and acting history on the website People Pill. The name Vernon Roberts is also constantly brought up on Reddit when discussing the Demonator episode of Drake and Josh, but bro literally does not and has never existed. And if you actually watch the end credits of the episode, you can see John Brandon's name, but Vernon Roberts is not listed anywhere. And I don't know how this rumor got started, but I wanted to clear things up once and for all and pay John Brandon the respect he deserves for playing such a hilarious and iconic role. USA! USA! That was for you, John Brandon. As always, if you guys like this video, be sure to give us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just rub ice cubes on my nipples if you do. And as always, if you have any other episodes or shows you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. The Demonator was a highly requested episode, even by some Patreon members. So I'm excited to finally be covering this one for you guys. All right, let's dive in. In the cold open, Josh complains that Drake is all about instant gratification and has no patience for anything, while Drake complains that Josh's Fudgy Boo brownies are in the oven and he wants that shit immediately. He doesn't want to wait for them to finish baking. So he takes out the pan and starts drinking that shit as a warm brownie soup. And I kinda want to know what happens next. Did he slurp up the entire pan of brownie mix? Did he stop halfway? Cut to Drake watching TV when Josh walks up and starts yapping about a Love Notes scrapbook thing Mindy gave him. But Drake doesn't give a shit about any of that because on TV they're talking about the Demonator.
The Demonator? What'd they say? What'd they say? Oh, that it's the fastest, the scariest, most intense, most dangerous roller coaster in the world.
Straight up, why are they using the phrase most dangerous to advertise the coaster? Are people really that drawn in by the chance of bodily harm? Oh, I might lose an arm, so let's go fucking do it. Josh suggests they practice riding the coaster, and I know they felt stupid as hell doing this. But when Megan walks over to clown on them, I do appreciate how they both take their harnesses off before standing up to talk to her.
We are gonna ride the Demonator the first day it opens. Oh yeah, and you're not.
If tomorrow's the first day it opens, then why are all those people in line getting on right now?
Huh?
So they realize that the Demonator is actually opening for the first time ever tonight, and they decide they're gonna go ride it. But Josh suggests first, one more practice round of the charade roller coaster. Honestly, that's not a good idea. When a new ride opens at Universal Studios, there's sometimes a 12-hour goddamn wait. They don't really have time to just waste on another lame-ass practice. When Drake and Josh flip backwards on the couch, you can actually see the safety pads they're both about to land on before the couch crashes. Fucking hilarious. Drake and Josh's parents are getting ready to leave for the Newsies award ceremony while Walter's grandfather, Papa Nichols, snoozes away on the couch. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Drake's mom, Audrey, she's fine. She's not really sure about leaving Papa Nichols because he's 81 and just had a surgery. But Walter says they can't miss the Newsy Awards even though he's lost to Bruce Winchell for the past 5 years in a row. And I love the running joke throughout the entire Drake and Josh series about Walter always beefing with Bruce Winchell.
You've been nominated for Best Weatherman 5 years in a row, and they always give it to Bruce Winchell.
Do not mention Bruce Winchell's name in this house.
Bruce Winchell? Why would you watch his weather broadcast instead of mine?
'Cause Bruce Winchell has awesome hair.
I bought it because I'm competing in Channel 7's annual 5K fun run.
Again? But doesn't that other weatherman always beat you? What's his name? Bruce Winchell.
I told you never to mention his name in this house.
They stop Drake and Josh from going out the door and tell them they're not allowed to go ride the Demonator because they have to babysit Papa Nichols. Drake says fine, we'll just take him to the roller coaster with us.
Guys, you can't take your great-grandfather to ride the Demonator.
Sure we can. Yeah, you only have to be this tall.
So the boys agree to stay home and watch him, and Megan gives Walter some flowers to give to Bruce Winchell when he wins. Brutal. She's a straight savage for that one.
Come on, let's just go so I can lose already.
All right.
Damn, I see where Megan gets it from. Audrey gives no fucks. As soon as the parents leave, Drake and Josh invite over Craig and Eric under the guise of having a party, and they show up all excited, ready to party. Hell, they even brought a bundt cake. Honestly, why didn't Drake and Josh just tell them the truth and offer to pay them for watching Papa Nichols? The nerds are fucking pissed and say they're gonna leave, but once Drake tells them they can watch the remastered version of Space Trek on DVD, they decide to stay. Megan says they're trash people for leaving their great-grandfather right after he's had surgery and threatens to snitch on them to mom and dad. So they tell her she can come along and ride the Demonator with them.
15. We're only 15 people away from riding the Demonator.
Why does Josh have a full churro in his hands then? He had to have bought it before they even got in line. What the hell's he waiting for to eat it? Just fucking eat it, bro! A moment later, Josh announces he has to pee, and for some reason, he can't hold it even though they are literally almost in the very front of the line. So he gets out of line to go pee. Weak sauce, brother. Cut to Eric and Craig, who are staring at Papa Nichols while he sleeps. I thought they were just gonna go watch the Space Trek DVDs. How long have they been staring at him like this? So Papa Nichols wakes up, even though Drake said he'd sleep all through the night from being heavily medicated. And hilariously, he thinks he's back in World War II. And I gotta point out, since this episode premiered in February 2006, and they say he's 81 years old,
Well, the man had surgery today, and he's 81 years old.
Papa Nichols would be 100 years old if the Drake and Josh universe was real life, and that's pretty damn old.
I guess he thinks he's back in World War II.
General Patton, sir. It's Sergeant Nichols. I've just been captured by 2 German nerds.
No, sir. We're not Germans.
That's just what a German would say.
So Papa Nichols beats the absolute living shit out of the nerds, thinking they're fucking Nazis from Germany who captured him as a war prisoner. And can you really blame him? If I woke up to 2 strangers staring at me like this, I'd reach for the nearest blunt object and start swinging.
You don't understand.
No, you'll not capture me. Never.
Eric!
USA! USA! USA!
Absolutely hilarious. They would probably never make this kind of plot today, but it's just comedy gold. Back at Mystic Mountain, which is actually a parody of Six Flags Magic Mountain, Josh returns from peeing and tries to get back in line, but everyone starts throwing a fit saying he's cutting. Drake takes Megan and starts to move backwards through the line to get closer to Josh. A kinda wild move from Drake, considering what he said just moments ago.
I'll be right back.
If he doesn't make it back in time, we're still gonna go on the ride, right?
If he's mauled by a bear, we're still going on the ride.
Security gets called and all 3 of their asses get booted to the back of the line. If I'm being picky here, unless broken down, rides run on a rolling basis continuously, funneling thousands of people through every hour. If the crew was really 15 people away from riding the Demonator, they would have been let on the ride the second Josh got out of line to go pee. Back at home, Craig and Eric nervously call out Papa Nichols' name and search through the house for him.
Papa Nichols?
World War II's over.
And we're not Germans.
We're honor students.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, but you can't blame Papa Nichols for being too careful. And this B-plot, I gotta say, is way funnier to me than the main plot going on with the roller coaster. The way you know he's lurking around waiting to attack who he believes to be enemy Nazis for Team USA is just a 10 out of 10. I love it.
Well, where could he be?
USA! USA! USA!
Now, how did he get up there, and how exactly was he holding himself up on the ceiling? Drake, Josh, and Megan get to the very back of the line where the wait time is 2 full hours, and a giant man cuts in front of them. Then after a commercial break, it's implied he's cut in front of even more people as he's no longer directly in front of Drake and Josh and Megan, but several spots ahead now. A little boy dressed as a pirate gets in line behind them and starts hassling Josh with his wooden sword. And that little boy is none other than Clay Jensen from 13 Reasons Why. Classic.
Quit bugging my kid, he's trying to play pirate.
Cut back to the PTSD flashback subplot, and the nerds have decided to split up to look for Papa Nichols. Eric searches in the bedroom and thinks he found him, but it turns out to just be a decoy. The real Papa Nichols then ambushes him, puts a pillowcase over his head trying to smother him to death, and then launches him out of the 2nd floor window. That should be a very serious injury. An ambulance should be immediately called. My thoughts and prayers are with Eric in his recovery. Back in line for the Demonator, the mascot Milford Mouse comes around and Clay Jensen rips off the tail from the mouse costume when dude has his back turned. Josh has never once learned to mind his own business, so he grabs the tail and starts loudly scolding the kid. But all the mascot dude sees is him holding the tail. Kinda weird since he should have been able to hear him loudly scolding the kid, but okay. So Milford Mouse is not impressed.
How would you like it if I yanked off your tail? Huh? You like that?
That mouse just stuck his fingers up Josh's asshole, if I'm not mistaken. That's a sexual assault. That's a lawsuit. Sidebar. If this is supposed to be Six Flags, then why is there a Mickey Mouse parody here? Six Flags isn't Disney themed. Dirty Dan can't seem to get his references straight on this one. So Josh gets into a full-on fight with Milford Mouse, and Drake also hasn't learned to mind his own damn business and jumps in to intervene. Which, I'm not sure I'm buying it. In the pilot episode of this series, Drake stands there and watches while Josh gets into a fight with a big jock and gets knocked out cold. All Drake does is kind of rub his shoulders and hype him up like some kind of boxing coach. But here with Milford Mouse, he just has to jump in?
That mouse is very aggressive.
Look, you mess with the mouse, you go to the back of the line.
What?
It's funny how getting into a physical altercation with the staff and having security called on you for violence isn't enough to be thrown out of the park, just sent to the back of the line. Okay. They ask Megan if she's with these guys, and she says she's never seen them before in her life, and she even commits to the bit by clapping along with the others while Drake and Josh get hauled away by security. And you know what? I respect it. Back with the nerds, Papa Nichols is tying them up, and does this mean he went outside and found Eric's body and dragged him back inside? Papa Nichols hears Eric's phone ringing and doesn't know what the hell it is. He thinks it's some kind of fucking bomb and smashes it to bits against the wall.
Oh no! He ruined my picture phone! It had all of our vacation photos on it.
From Niagara Falls? Aw, man.
Okay, that's more than enough proof that Craig and Eric are a gay couple, right? Just the two of them on vacation together in Niagara Falls, of all places? There was probably some waist grabbing. Back in line for the Demonator, Josh worries because Eric won't answer his phone, and he starts to panic that they won't be home in time to beat their parents, and thinks maybe they should just give up and leave. But when they see Megan exiting the ride and how mesmerized she is, they decide no way they're missing out on this shit, and they stay in line. We get another quick cut back to the nerds who escape from the ropes, but then run back to their chairs apologizing once Papa Nichols jumps out and scares them. Let me just say, they're lucky Papa Nichols didn't have the keys to the gun cabinet, because I think Craig and Eric would have been dead by the end of this episode. Finally, Drake and Josh are seen exiting the ride looking like changed men. Seriously, it looks like someone sucked them off so hard, their souls left their bodies. It always kind of bothered me how you don't actually see the Demonator, but I guess they couldn't really show a fake roller coaster.
Man, Mom and Dad are gonna be home in 20 minutes. Okay, let's go.
So that means there should be no possible way to beat their parents home, according to Drake's own calculations in the previous scene.
It's been 17 minutes since we were at the sign that said 2 hours from this point. You figure an hour and 43 minutes for the line, 6 minutes to ride the Demonator, 13 minutes to find the car, and 22 minutes to drive home. That puts us at the front door at exactly 10:58, which is 2 minutes before Mom and Dad said they'd be home. All right, like, if you could figure all that out, why are you failing math?
So according to the timeline Drake worked out, that Josh also agreed with, it would take them 35 minutes total to get home after exiting the roller coaster, and their parents are going to be home in 20. But even though that puts them on schedule to arrive 15 minutes after their parents, Drake still tries stopping to flirt with some random girls in line, which is funny as hell. The squad gets home, somehow beating Mom and Dad, so I guess they were speeding fast enough to shave 15 minutes off their 22-minute journey. Holy shit. All right, hold up a second here. I actually did the math, and if the average speed limit home from the park to their house was 60 miles an hour, you would need to drive 105 miles per hour to shave the 15 minutes off your travel time that was needed for them to beat their parents. Lock them up. The boys ask Craig and Eric why they're tied up, and they say because your great-grandfather is fucking nuts.
Your great-grandfather went berserk. That's why.
He's an animal.
And I'll tell you something else. You guys are gonna buy me a new cell phone.
And spoiler alert, that doesn't end up happening. In season 4, in the episode The Wedding, they mentioned that Eric still doesn't have a cell phone because of the events of this episode.
Said it was cool for him to borrow my computer. Why'd you give him the whole case? Well, I'll just call Craig and Eric and tell them to come back. No, we can't. They don't have cell phones. Why? Because Papa Nichols threw Eric's against the wall and broke it.
Which is ridiculous. Megan announces Mom and Dad are home, and they shove the nerds out the back door. Why? They were told they couldn't leave the house, not told they couldn't have friends over. Plus, wouldn't their parents just see Craig and Eric's car out front? Drake realizes he's still wearing his Demonator shirt and doesn't have a jacket to cover it up like the other two. So he grabs a fucking curtain and ties it around himself. Listen, Drake is wearing not one, but 2 shirts underneath his Demonator t-shirt. The red short sleeve shirt and the long sleeve undershirt. Why not just take the Demonator t-shirt off? Mom tries to ask Drake why he's wearing her drapes, but Josh interrupts to ask Dad if he won the Weatherman Award. And shockingly, he didn't. Bruce Winchell won. Megan says yay and then goes off to bed. Everyone else goes to check on Papa Nichols, who's sleeping peacefully.
Wake up. It's time to go.
Nice try, German! USA! USA! USA!
Crazy ending. But one thing I have to point out is that they didn't bring home the flowers that were meant for Bruce Winchell. So I'm thinking that Walter actually gave Megan's flowers to Bruce Winchell at the event, which is kinda hilarious. And honestly, what makes this episode kind of unique is that I don't think Drake and Josh ever get into any kind of trouble for this. They aren't caught by their parents at the end of the episode. Papa Nichols is too senile to even know what decade it is, so he can't exactly rat them out for not babysitting him. And in the season 4 episode Steered Straight, when some of their past crimes from previous episodes are mentioned, I don't think this is one of them.
Dad, this is ridiculous.
No, it's not. You guys have been getting into a lot of trouble lately.
Like what?
The fake IDs,
Burning down our neighbor's tree house.
the counterfeit grills.
They truly got away with it this time, and Megan didn't even try to sabotage them at any point, which I feel like is kinda rare for this show. So you know what? Good for Drake and Josh. It was a tough journey getting sent to the back of the line over and over, and Josh's anus got assaulted, but ultimately, they accomplished their goal and got to ride the roller coaster they wanted and got away with it without Mom and Dad finding out. That's a big dub right there, and all these years later, I still yearn to ride the Demonator. But enough of me yapping. What did you guys think of the Demonator? Do you think it holds up all these years later? Or do you think we should throw it in the trash? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. And as always, I gotta give a massive, throbbing, eccentric shout out to the channel and Patreon members. You guys fill me with joy, and I appreciate the support from each and every one of you. If you're still here, that's awesome. Maybe throw us a like and subscribe. How about check out some other videos? Why not? All right, thanks for listening.